Hey, what's going on, everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I just read something that ran across Facebook on heavy.com. I guess Vucevic and Patrick Beverly had a disagreement on the court in regards to a play where Vucevic, I guess Patrick Beverly was guarding Jaden Ivey, and Jaden Ivey, was speeding past him like he's supposed to. He's Jaden Ivey. And then, of course, Vucevic in this situation was supposed to be the weak side. And Vucevic had his back turned and never saw the situation. So Patrick Beverly was leading him to the weak side for Vucevic to contest, and Vucevic never even saw the ball. He just went up for an easy layup. And so the disagreement, just took place a little quick. Nothing too serious, no real confrontation. I think Patrick Beverly just kind of said what he had to say and then walked away, kind of like, handled it well, I think. And so reading what Vucevic had to say, he said, people make big deals out of these disagreements and, on the court, and guys are just trying to make plays and trying to win. You know what I mean? It's not deeper than that. That's my paraphrasing. But my thing is, when you bring Patrick Beverly to your team, you have to understand is he thinks defense. So if you make a bad defensive play, he can hold you accountable. Now, a guy like Vucevic is a certain caliber of player. He made all-star teams, got a certain amount of money, certain cachet. Been on his Bulls teams now for 2 years. He's very proud, and I think in that situation, he wasn't really ready to be held accountable for a blown play. But I think, when you consider what Patrick Beverly, the environment he's coming from over here in LA, he was allowed to be himself. He was leaned upon as a leader here. You know what I mean? And I think he kind of carried that mentality to Chicago, and I don't think guys are really ready for that type of confrontation. I don't think every personality is built for that type of confrontation. But at the same time, it's like guys got to be ready to be held accountable for mistakes if they want those mistakes to not be mistakes. You know what I mean? You got to let a guy like Patrick Beverly teach you. That's essentially what it is. A guy like Vucevic can't assume that Patrick Beverly can't teach him how to be a better defender. That's what I would tell you, Vucevic. Like, Vucevic, this dude is a defensive mind for real, man. After watching him for a whole year, he wasn't a player that I wanted to see on the floor too much, but he was definitely somebody that you wanted to have coaching young players and kind of being a mentor on how to defend and thinking defense. He wasn't only a good defender, he kept other people around him better defenders if they were able to be slotted on the floor properly, for which it was a big problem for the Lakers. But nevertheless, like, that was his thing. Like, you didn't see many defensive breakdowns at all while he was on the floor, not just in his position, but anybody's. And so that's what Vucevic got to understand. That came because of this. He would hold guys accountable, talk to them. They would listen. They would do what he says, and then he would be a quarterback on the defensive end. So I would tell Vucevic, humbling yourself to listen to him in that regard will make your team a better defensive team. And you being one of the leaders on that team, it will help. It will help if you absorb a little of that, man. And I would say that to anybody who plays with a guy like Patrick Beverly or any of these super smart defensive players. You want to listen to these guys if they're quarterbacks in a defensive for your defensive side of the ball, especially when your team is not overly great defensively. Now, I do think the Bulls are a pretty good defensive team, which is why Patrick Beverly was a good acquisition for them. Especially missing Lonzo Ball, they have that envisioned defensive point guard in their situation in regards to how they have it set up. So I think he's a pretty good signing for them. But Vucevic can't be so frustrated with Patrick Beverly trying to make him better defensively. Guys are bad defensively because a lot of times they don't want to let people like Patrick Beverly make them better defensively. So that's the thing. That's what I have to say about that, man. Ain't no long video here. I just wanted to acknowledge that. I don't think that was a big exchange. It wasn't like they was fighting or nothing. I don't think it was nothing like that. I'm just saying, Patrick Beverly knows what he's talking about on the defensive end. And if the Chicago Bulls want to go anywhere defensively, they would be wise to listen to him. My name is BDL44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.